Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Mayank. I'm finally doing one of these things because apparently they're very popular, or were popular, or will be popular, or whatever. It's this crazy thing called YouTube. I don't know if you've heard of it. But anyway, I shot these videos a little while ago, and I'm finally putting them up. It's going to be called Casting Corner. I was going to call it Casting Couch because we're sitting on a couch, but then I thought, no, and also hashtag me too. So it's called Casting Corner, and it's me interviewing different casting associates and casting directors around town in Los Angeles because I work in casting myself, but I'm also an actor, so it'll be me interviewing these casting associates and casting directors from a casting perspective, but also from an actor's perspective to get you guys information that maybe you don't know about, or the information that you want to ask but don't know how to ask, or things that you don't think to ask about, whether in the room or in a workshop or what have you. So I'll be interviewing a different person every week, and I'll put up a post on every Monday. And yeah, if you like it, please follow, please subscribe, spread it. And if there's anyone you want to meet or see, or anyone you want to talk to, or an office you don't know so well, let me know, and I can reach out because I hopefully know somebody there and can maybe interview somebody there, and so you can get a little info into their office, because the main thing I want is that every office is different and every office has different views. So like when I interview each of these offices, people from these offices, you're going to get different answers and kind of see what that office likes and what their pet peeves are and what they like in the room versus a different one. So because we're all human, we're all people, everyone has different tastes, different views, different values. So so it's kind of to help you guys get to know the casting people as the people that they are. And as the professionals that they are. So I hope you guys enjoy it. All right. Fix it how you want. A little bit, yeah. Are we rolling?
Yeah.
We are? Oh,
yeah.
Shit. Okay. Hey guys, Mayank here. I'm here with Gianna Butler, who I met many moons ago. So once again, I'm going to just ask her some questions about casting stuff as being an actor and a casting director, my opinions on things, and then she'll answer and we'll talk and we'll fool around. But first I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Okay, my name's Gianna Butler. I am a casting associate at Koczara Schevchenko Casting. It's a busy office,
Not
very
really
busy.
That much. You guys are
very busy.
Slow, right?
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. Nothing really
just
to do.
chilling, eating ice cream, doing yoga.
Watching Netflix.
Yeah. For research.
Yeah, but I like being busy.
And tell me a little bit about how you got there and where you started and why you want to be in casting.
I've been doing theater since I came out of the womb. I
love dancing out of the womb?
I was, and singing. I have loved to perform since I was a kid. So I went to college. I went to SF State, and I was a theater major, minor in communications. And I realized that I don't want to be an actress when I was doing that. I was like, this is not for me.
It's not fun.
No, it's actually really hard. And I didn't think I had a tough enough skin. My head of the theater department was like, "What do you want to be a screenwriter?" I was like, "No." He was like, "What about a director?" I was like, "No."
No.
About costumes and lighting, I was like, "No." He was like, "How about casting?" I was like, "Yes." Wow, casting gives me the opportunity to be creative. I still get to read scripts and work with actors because I used to be one and I have experience doing it. I was like, I think I'm going to do that. Mm-hmm. And then I got an internship at Nancy Names.
Yeah.
And Lindsay Weissmiller picked up the phone and was like, great, you start next week. And I was like, cool. And then everyone at SF State was like, so where do you plan on going after college? I was like, oh, I already have an internship with a really big casting director, so. And everyone was like, ooh, fancy. And I was like, yeah, maybe see you.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Let me know.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And it's literally been all uphill from there.
Tell me the difference between working on a pilot versus working on a series. In a nutshell.
In a nutshell, a pilot, you don't get any sleep or eat.
Ooh, that doesn't sound very fun.
No.
But it probably feels good for your body.
It does.
No.
Where? It's so rewarding at the end of a pilot because you're like, yes, we did it. And so much hard work and tears and emergencies were put into it.
Yeah.
Like, we just did one. Literally, we walked out of our offices, and Alexis and Christine were like, how did we do that? Like, we kind of blacked out for a second. Like, how did we just, like, cast, like, all 3 kids in 2 weeks?
That's amazing.
Not sure.
That's
you guys are
super fast.
Not sure, but good for you. But,
so when you're casting a pilot, the actors that you see, where you have, like, 20-something leads or whatnot, do you only see, like, name talent? Do you see only big agencies? Do you see anyone? Like, you see everyone that's right? Yeah. Alexis
and Christine go through every single email pitch, and they go through all of their submissions.
Wow, that's amazing. That's a lot. How do they do all that?
They're really well, the thing is, though, they've been in the business for so long. They have such a knowledge of who these actors are, who these people are. They don't want to just see big names. We want to see unknowns. Right. And you know what? Like, producers love unknown people, too. Yeah. They're like, ooh, I've never seen her
Who's
before.
That?
Who's
interesting.
that? Like, that's very interesting.
That's really good to know, especially for actors that are either starting out or haven't had those opportunities yet. That's good to know.
It's definitely a big thing in our office.
That's really good.
Unless, the producers are like, we want to see A, B, and C.
Right.
Obviously, we have to do what they want. But when we do pre-reads, we read anyone who looks right. Doesn't matter if they have credits or a reel, if they have representation, and the agent and manager is passionate about them. We see a picture, we think that they look right for the role. We read them, try it out. We work with them.
That's really great.
Yeah.
That's really great. I have a follow-up for that, but I don't know what it is yet. So you read everyone for a role. So tell me about a series.
Still fast-paced, like a pilot.
Audition and get somebody.
Sometimes we will get a script on Thursday, and we will have the role starting work on Monday. So we have to break it down, send it out, pick the right people, find people that we all may already know that blah 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 would be great for this. We just do a big fat session of people and send choices as fast as possible, because wardrobe is always like, hey, have you cast this part yet? We're like, no, because we got a script like 2 hours ago. So we don't want to waste our time on parts that are going to get cut.
How do you know if parts can get cut?
If it's a one-liner, it's like, maybe that doesn't need to be there.
Seeing new talent, do you go to shows? Do you watch like people's web series? Do you suggest people that you've seen in things like that? Do you do workshops? Like, how do you find people?
I do go to shows, talent blasts that I go to, see showcases of people, keep them in the back of my mind. I give them my email. I'm like, yo, tell me when you're going to be in a show. Like, I'm always down to go to a show. Like, and if you can comp me a ticket, like, I'm there. Like, I love live theater, being able to do that, because it's just, I feel like a lot of people don't do that these days. So I do that. We go to all the showcases, CBS, NBC, ABC, we do all that. We find new fresh faces there. Also, agents and managers email us all the time saying, we brought a new person, and like, they always check them out. And there have been a lot of times where they'll say, you have to read her. And we're like, okay. And we do, and we're like, damn. Glad we read them. It's like, really, like, Alexis and Christine will be like, wow, really nice to meet you. Like, and they'll make a note, like, we need to, maybe not, they're not right for this role, but it was a really good read.
And they're in their Rolodex, and then they're in there. Since you guys do a lot of comedy, do you see stand-up, web series, like funny web series?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
this person looks great, let's bring them in.
I love UCB, so I go to UCB all the time, and I also
Upright Citizen Brigade. You guys don't know.
There have been a lot of people like that I grew up with. Like, there's this kid Jimmy Tatro. We should bring in like this kid that like I know from high school, and like all of a sudden now he's like in big name movies, and like I'm just like I'm trying to get my friends in too. Like, people who I know that are capable of doing these roles.
Literally, I can email her, I'll just be like, hey, what about this? Hey, what about this?
And I'm like, yes, you're good. Yeah, come in.
She's so good, and she has a lot of say, which is good, because sometimes associates and assistants don't have the most say, or they can't be bringing up their own people, and they're kind of bringing in whoever their boss says. But it's good to know that they value your opinion and respect your opinion, because that's good for you to develop yourself as a casting person as
Totally.
well.
And making my own relationships, you know. And the girls wouldn't have known you if it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And
they booked me right away.
On Fuller House.
Yeah. Oh, so I was going to ask. So you guys have a bunch of shows.
Mm-hmm.
How do you juggle all the shows? Like, because there's so much that goes into one show, as I know from working on a show. Multiple shows and balancing all of them, making sure everyone's like, and like keeping track of what role works when and blah, blah. Like, how's that?
We divide and conquer. If we have a table read, but also we need to do a session for this role, like 2 of us will go to the table read and 2 of us will stay for the session. It's a matter of looking at the day out of days, which is, you know, seeing which character works what day and seeing what's a priority, what needs to be done first, and seeing if like it's a big enough role to just offer it to somebody. Sometimes when we're in like emergency mode and like it's a bigger guest star role, we're like, let's just make a list of names and check avails and offer it to people, because sometimes producers and directors love that.
Right.
They like to see those big fancy names, and if they're available and
they're interested.
they might be interested.
Yeah. For regular roles, you don't usually make offers.
No. I mean, for like co-stars or whatever, no. Unless the producer or director or whatever saying like, hey, like,
this is my friend, this is my this. Right.
Which is who you know.
Who you know. So
you know.
Good to know. You should know producers and directors, because they
like
are the ones that pick.
Things change like overnight. One day we have this big role, and the next day they're like, nope, it's not. It's not in the episode anymore. We're like, oh, great, good to know. Oops.
Whoopsies. Accidental foul. Is your word perfect for the lines, or like, is it okay if you flub a little?
Yes, it's fine if you flub a little. Always, it's fine if you're not off book. That doesn't matter to us. We'd rather you have the script in your hand and look down when you need to, instead of stand there and like
search for the line.
And then you're like, oh, and then it's like, oh, we want that perfect take. That's the beauty of putting things on tape. You just get that perfect take, and we can send it to the producers and the director.
Do you usually send one take or more than one take?
We usually do more than one take. Sometimes we can't decide which one we like more.
So you send them both, and they will watch both of them usually?
We hope so.
Right. You don't know.
Not sure.
Not sure. You don't know
Not sure what
doing.
goes on. You know, sometimes actors will come in and say, you know, I have a choice. We'll say, great, show us your choice, and if it's not on the right path, we'll put you on the right one. A matter of us just working with the person in the room, too.
Do you normally give redirects? Do people always get a second take? They always do?
Yes.
What if they're, like, really bad? Or just, like, not prepared?
Just not prepared. We say, use your script. You want to take 5 minutes? Go take 5 minutes. We'll take a couple more people.
That's amazing. A lot of offices do not do that. That's really nice.
Because there are a lot of people that, like, are just so nervous.
Yeah.
And like you can see them trembling, and we're like,
do you feel the nervousness when they come in?
Yes. Yeah. And we're such a relaxing office. We try and make it as like no pressure, just be you. Like we want you to be comfortable and do your best. Sometimes there are those actors that come in with a choice, and we ask them, you know, we say, ooh, like this is a single cam, like this isn't, you know, multicams. Bring it down a little bit.
Right.
Sometimes those actors cannot lose their choice. They hold on to it. They don't take the direction. I think it's very important to have a choice, but be prepared to be directed in the opposite direction and take that direction.
Okay, what if an actor asks to do an additional take?
We'll do it.
You'll do it?
Mm-hmm.
Not taboo.
Alexis will always say, sure.
Why not?
Do it again.
Yeah.
Or she'll say, honestly, I don't think you need to do it again. Like, I really liked that take. I think that's exactly what they're looking for, which is true. Like it's not her trying to hurry them out of the room. She wants everyone to have the opportunity and feel like they did what they wanted, and they made their choice and they showed it to us. That's our goal. We would never want to like hurry someone out because we think they're bad or you know whatever. We're just like, if you want to do it again, you're happy to do it again. But like we really liked that take.
Right.
Kind of killed it. And even though you flop the words a little bit, that doesn't matter every time.
Improv?
I think it depends.
On the show?
Yeah, and the scene. If it's too off book, if it's off the page, sometimes the writers will be a little
offended. Or weird.
No, just kind of like, where did that come from? Kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay, what about if they add a little like button to the end of the scene, like one line?
We like that.
You like that?
Yes.
Always have a button, especially for comedy.
A button that makes sense.
That makes sense. Don't just be like, I'm a clown now.
Right. Like they're like sometimes we'll get a little button at the end and we're like, Okay. Not sure where that came from. We like buttons at the end. They just need to make sense.
Right.
They have to go with the scene.
Props.
Props? We love props. No guns, no knives, no,
Right.
nothing, inappropriate that
But
you should be
like
bringing
water, like
Yeah,
like
water,
liquid.
a cup, a pen, a phone,
Right.
a clipboard.
And your sides can be a lot of props too. You can use them for so many things.
Yes.
Now, here's a question. So I had an audition. As I was leaving, somebody was walking in, and it was for a masseuse.
Mhm.
They were walking in with a masseuse table.
No. That is so over the top. Sorry.
No. So no on the masseuse table.
That's so crazy.
I know. I thought it was so funny.
Oh my god. No. They
Yeah,
want to
you
know that you can do the scene, and
Yeah.
that's basically it.
Yeah. And keep everyone kind of like forward instead of like, being like, no, if you're in a car seat, right?
You want to have one eye line. We don't like it when people look directly at the camera. We like it kind of like off
Look
a
at the
little
reader.
bit. At the reader, yeah.
Is it okay if there's multiple people to make them on the opposite side?
I think that if you switch it, you're like this all the time. I think that's very distracting. So pick 2 eye lines, or just
be direct with them.
Yeah,
or just use the one person.
Use the one person for all 3 people that you're speaking to. I think that's just it's easier.
Right.
Unless you've practiced using
Like,
a couple
perfect.
different eye lines, then that's fine. But like maybe if it's too distracting, we'll tell you. We'll be like, that was really good take on it. Really liked your tone. One thing, just keep your eye line straight.
What about moving around?
We follow.
Yeah.
You fall on the ground, we go to the ground. We jump, whatever.
What if they come right up to you?
No, we have a line. There's a line
Is
on
it
our
invisible
floor.
or is it
No,
like a real line?
I put a piece of tape on the floor.
There's a piece of tape.
Please don't cross this line. Because it's such, our
It's
room
very
is so
small.
small.
It's very small.
It's so small, and it's so warm. We have these big lights, and it's just like, if you go past this line, we cut off your head. And then it gets awkward, and we're like zooming out, and it's like, whoa, it doesn't look good. If you want your audition tape to look good, let's keep you behind this line. You can go side to side, back and forth in that space. But we want to keep that blue curtain behind you,
Right.
so it looks nice.
Right. What about like each of the shows individually? Like, do they all shoot in LA? Do they a lot of roles in episodes, small roles in episodes? Like a few, like what you were saying earlier, like depends on the show, requiring like the comedy, like the improv and the addition, like which shows are like a little more like open to that versus not.
I think.
And one last question. Is there usually like one kind of decision maker that's picking? Is it the director, or is it like the main producer, or is it kind of everyone chiming in and deciding on like the email chain for each of the shows?
So, first of all, it's different with every show. We have multicam, so that's big, broad, funny, over the top. That is where we like a little more improv, a little more movement, big facial expressions. Like that's it's a kids show.
Right.
With BLACKISH on ABC, it's single cam, it's grounded, it's real. The humor is kind of dry a little bit, which is hilarious. So less is more.
Right. And if someone comes in and does the opposite for those shows, you just be like, okay, switch it.
Right. Yes, we're like, that's great.
Great. Now
This is single cam.
or-
Bring it down to a lot.
Right.
And same with our Amazon shows. Single cam, very real. Opposite of Disney, Nickelodeon is also single cam, very dry, very grounded, very real.
Okay.
So, but with all of them, there are a lot of cooks in the kitchen on those emails where they say, everyone will say, hey, I really like this guy. Me too, me too, me too.
And then someone else will be like,
the showrunner, creator, whatever, will say, no, I like Bob. And we're like, great, Bob it is.
Bob it is.
Sorry,
Sorry, Joe.
Joe, who everyone else liked.
Joe.
Bob got it. Also, it depends on, ABC or TBS if they approve of the
Right.
choice. Sometimes that overall choice of the showrunner, director, creator, producers, everyone, TBS or ABC, they might not approve it for some reason.
Right.
So then we have to go back to the drawing board and
they're like,
go to
we
your
want
second choice
more,
or
give us
more
a-
choices.
or like give
another
us
session.
something more like this, or
Yeah.
like we
Or
actually
they'll
want the
say-
role to be this ethnicity
Right.
or this way or that way or
They
whatever.
say, you know what, we apologize. We need to go in a different direction. This is not what we pictured for this role.
So that's good to know. So you could go in, do a good job, and you could be a choice and still not get the part. You could be the second choice, still not get the part. You could be great and they want something completely different than what you are, and it's not your fault. So going into an audition, leaving, unfortunately as actors, we don't ever get much feedback or know why we didn't get the part, because there's way too many actors and that would take way too much time to tell everyone, oh, you didn't get it because you're too short, and you didn't get it because you weren't funny enough, and whatever, and you were great, but no, and we don't know why. Also,
people come in and they read and they have a really great read, but we're like, they weren't right for the role.
Right.
And
but then they
we're
go
going to be like, but wait, there's another role in the next episode. It's not like you're working on
another show or 5 other shows.
Right. We can find
somewhere to put
else.
you.
Yeah, we will put you somewhere else, and we'll bring you in for something else. So. And
then even the producer's choices could be not approved, which is crazy, because
which they have. So.
Right. Yeah. No, we've had that too.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, come on, that's like what they want. And then there's some reason or another. There's so many people that have to play a decision.
So many cooks.
In
casting directors never get the last choice. we never get to say, you're the one. We pick you.
Right.
Because then everyone else is like, no, we have to give them.
Right.
We just pick our favorites.
But isn't it feel so? I loved it when I would be like, this person's gonna get
and
the
then
part,
and
then you're right.
I know.
And I'm like,
yes, I'm so good at my job. Yes.
It's so perfect. I knew it. Yeah, I love that feeling. It's
like
so
when
good.
I brought you in for Full House, and Jeff Franklin was like, Mayank, and I was like,
and then you texted me.
Thank you. That was me.
So good. So now you guys say you have a Rolodex of like the good people. Do you have a Rolodex of the people that aren't so good or need work or those kind of things? And is that like, we're not going to call them in again, or we're going to wait to call them in until they've got a little more experience, or we're never going to call them? Like what?
I think that,
like for example, we at my old office would keep notes.
Yes.
In the notes section of every actor, like we like them or they need, whatever, so that we know for the next time. So is having a bad note or doing a bad job, especially in the first time meeting you guys, because later I think if you come in and done a good job and then come in and maybe had a bad day or whatever and do not do the greatest job, then you guys are like, okay.
No, we'll still see them. We'll still bring them in if they're right for the role.
Right. So, but if their first audition is bad or not good or unprepared or they're really nervous or something, like what happens then?
I think I don't know. I think it just depends. Maybe that role wasn't right for them. And that's why it just didn't work.
Yeah, open.
We're pretty lenient.
That's
great.
I mean,
unless...
Because a lot of offices will take, like, we won't see you for another year until you've got a little more experience. Or like, we won't see you for 10 years.
Right.
Like,
but also there just hasn't been the right role for you since then. It's not like we're going for our submissions and we're like, nah.
No.
It's like, no, we've seen you before. They didn't do the best job last time. This is a completely different role for a different show. Let's give them a second shot. We like to fill our sessions with people that we've, maybe we can work with. It's like all about working with the actor in the room. But if you do something crazy,
don't do crazy.
Don't do crazy things.
There was an actor at my old office that it was a medical scene with like 2 lines, but he made it like an hour and a half with having in like huffs and puffs, and on top of it, I think one of the lines was like, "Oh my God, he's bleeding" or something like that. And he was in full medical garb. He like hit his chest and blood squirted out.
Oh, you told me.
And then like on the back wall.
Right.
Everything.
And you just painted the wall or
right,
something.
Yeah. So that, you should do that, right? That's good.
Careful with your props.
Yeah.
We had someone on BLACKISH come in, and there was this scene where the FedEx guy has to put Anthony Anderson in a headlock. And this guy came in and pointed to me and said, "Can I use you?" And I said, "Use me for what?" And
right.
he was like, "Can I put you in the headlock?" And I was like, I looked at Alexis and Christine, and they were like, "No, no, that would make us uncomfortable." But
can I use you for the headlock?
Yeah, and they were like, "No, that would make us uncomfortable." And he was like, "Come on."
He said, "Come on."
Yeah, he was like, "Come on, it would be fun." And they were like, know. It's about the scene. They want to know if you can do the lines. They want to see you do the lines. They don't care if someone's in your headlock, especially a woman. That's
right.
Especially the associate that's in the office. Like I'm sitting here for my job to observe my bosses, to see how they direct you and learn. I'm not there to be your prop. It was a little insulting and inappropriate, and I was like, no. And then he left the room and he was like, could have been fun, and like walked out, and we were like, what?
So is he on the naughty list?
He's on the naughty list. We were just like, no, don't ask, no.
That is a great story.
You should just be able to just mime it.
Yeah.
Simple. Less is more.
Less is more.
Less is more.
I want to thank Gianna again for coming here and interviewing with me for this. It was amazing, very helpful. So many positive views and optimistic views about the industry, which is good to hear because a lot of people hear a lot of negative and bad things.
Yeah.
And she's got a very positive light.
There's
and
a lot
positive,
of negative stuff.
Yeah.
But we like to stay positive.
Which is
Always
amazing.
stay positive.
So if you guys like this video, follow my page or retweet it. I'll put all the stuff in the comments below, and I'll give you Gianna's socials tab so you can follow her if you want to. And if you have any questions or anything else you want to hear from her, put it in the comments below, and we can do a follow-up video.
Totally.
What? All right. Thanks, guys.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.